Jimmy Thang from GameSpot here at E3 2016. I'm here at Alienware's booth speaking with Eddie. And Eddie, can you tell us what we're looking at here?
Absolutely. So this is the new Alienware Aurora. It's our brand new mid-tower. It's an incredible gaming desktop. We designed it to support dual graphics, liquid-cooled overclocking, and even overclockable memory. So from a performance standpoint, we didn't cut any corners. It's designed for VR, so it'll support the VR requirements of today, and it'll go even beyond those and support requirements of tomorrow as well. The chassis itself is brand new, so you may have never seen it before. It is our mid-tower. It is our smallest dual graphics desktop ever, which is really neat. And if I show you inside, you'll notice there's very little room left unused. The system can support up to 5 storage drives, a USB port. It'll support up to dual 300-watt graphics cards. That includes dual 1080s, if you're wondering. And then also the i7K processor, we're going to be offering it overclocked up to 4.2 gigahertz across all 4 cores, so not just a single core. And then liquid cooling is an option as well. It is one of our quietest desktops ever. It comes with what we're calling always ready mode. So the system will actually slow down, power off the components, and actually always be ready for you to when you need it. It'll come back to life in a much faster, much more responsive way than a sleep experience, for example. But to talk a little bit more about the performance of the system, we designed it so that people could actually experience 4K gaming, give them room to experience VR, and even 12K gaming experiences. The fact that it's launched at $799 with a Core i3 processor, 8 gigs of RAM, a 1 terabyte hard drive, and an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 950 gives gamers that are on a budget a way in. And if you have more expendable income, if you want to have a 4K gaming experience, if you want to have an incredible, super powerful machine, you can do that as well. And the system's designed to enable gamers who aren't that savvy, who aren't that comfortable performing their own upgrades, a very, very easy experience when getting in the machine too. So for example, when you get into the system, it's very toolless. So what I mean by that is if I try to open the system, I just pull this door. It's like opening a car door. It's very simple. And immediately the parts that become available are the storage drives. So you'll notice towards the bottom, you have 2.5-inch drives that I could pull in and out. There's a 3.5-inch drive at the top. And that can actually be outfitted to support dual 2.5-inch drives. So that's 4 solid-state drives so far. And on the motherboard, there's an M.2 slot too. So you can have a PCIe solid-state drive there. That's 5 solid-state drives maximum. And that does not take away from the potential optical drive that you have in there too. That does not take away from the expansion cards you can support, and that includes dual by 16 graphics cards. So lots of expandability. So even if you're at that $799 price point, if you aspire to upgrade, we've already covered the storage drives. They're very easy to get into. Getting access to the graphics cards and the memory is also very simple too. I'll show you. There are these latches that once I open them, the power supply is on a swing arm that comes out. And to show the guys at home through the camera, all the parts are very easily accessible. Look at how deep we've gone into the system without using a single screwdriver. In fact, this is our first desktop to allow toolless graphics card upgrades. There are no screws on these graphics cards, no toolless, no thumb screws. It's because the assembly that the power supply comes in allows the system a way to secure those cards safely. So again, for someone who's not that savvy but wants to get curious and tweaking the machine and doing their own upgrades, the machine is very good for customers who want to do that. And it's also a very clean setup. You'll notice the wires were stowed as best possible, and we did not waste any of the room in here.
And this unit, as you mentioned, has custom or liquid cooling. What specs are in this particular machine?
This system right here, if memory serves correct, has a Core i7 processor, an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1080 graphics card. I'm not quite certain how much memory we've got installed.
It's like 2 sticks here.
Yeah. So that could be an 8 gig setup, and it could be also a 1 terabyte hard drive setup. So this particular unit was meant to just show folks all the design decisions that we made on the chassis itself. Which I can continue talking about too. You'll notice at the top of the system we have this grip. This grip is works exactly the same as it does on the Area 51. It allows gamers to carry the system comfortably, so it's very natural to carry as they move it around. As I mentioned, it is the smallest dual graphics desktop we've ever had.
Standard ATX motherboard.
It is a micro ATX motherboard, as a matter of fact. Micro ATX motherboard. Yep.
Awesome. And you know, who is this for exactly? There are, you know, some hardcore PC enthusiasts out there. They're like, oh, it's all about building a PC. Like, why would you want to, you know, get a pre-made? Sure. What do you have to say to those guys?
So we've been around for 20 years now, and back in the late 90s, it was really tough to put a system together. You had to be very savvy. You had to know how to mix hardware. You had to know what drivers were right. You had to know which operating system supported what game. You really needed help. So Alienware has always been about giving gamers a solution that they could just turn the system on and get straight to PC gaming. We haven't changed that mission in over 20 years. And now with the Aurora, we continue to do that. The system is something that it's a no hassles type of experience that is also very incredible and high performance. So if you want to have the latest and greatest game, the latest and greatest performance, if you want to brag, you can do that. Gamers who don't want to have to deal with the issues and the complexities of having to deal with different vendors, different manufacturers, returns. You know, you get the service and support that Dell offers, 24/7 support. Which is all very comforting and gives people peace of mind.
And then, sorry, another technical question. How big is the power supply?
Yeah, so we started a 460 watt power supply, but there's also an 850 watt option as well.
Well, it'll fit into that same size?
The same size, yep, the same one. Yep.
Cool. Final question, price and release date for this guy?
So it's available today and has a starting at price point of $799.
Awesome. Thank you, Eddie.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
For more E3 coverage, stay tuned to GameSpot.com.